guys? It's Chris here. Today we're gonna do another thing of 10 out of 10 records. This time from the 90s. This list I kind of had to make real fast. I'll be honest with you, I'm not happy with most of the albums on this list mainly because I didn't get to mention some of my favorites. I may make a formal video, just like a whole like album collage of my favorite albums, and just like go from there because I have a whole album collage of albums I think are like strong 9s to 10s. It's only 50 albums out of 3,000 I listen to, so every album in the series pretty much is on there. But like, you know, there's a couple choices that I would have picked over the albums I picked because I had a short selection of just my record collection. But yeah, let's get started with the albums from the 90s. This is a special hip hop record right here. Illmatic, Nas. I mean, it's Illmatic. It's ill fucking matic. It's a 10. We already know Illmatic is a 10. Yeah, there's some really great songs in here like The World Is Yours, New York State of Mind, Represent. It Ain't Hard to Tell. Like, of course. 10 out of 10 classic record. I think Represent's my favorite song on here, mainly because it's like my personal record in the gym song. I don't look like I hit personal records in the gym a lot. I know I don't look that strong, but like, I like going to the gym here and there, and this is probably my gym album. I'm gonna be honest with you. I know, classic hip hop, kind of funny. Yeah, I do listen to a lot of hip hop in the gym. Albums like Black on Both Sides, which is a 10. Albums like a Hell Half, Nor Fury, which is a 10. Sorry for exposing some 10s here. They're not gonna be in the series, so don't worry about it. But yeah, Nas, Illmatic, 10 out of 10. Classic hip hop, East Coast. Yes, I do prefer the East Coast over the West Coast, if you guys are asking. Um, there's no West Coast albums in this video. If I would have to mention one, that would probably be The Chronic. But yeah. Now let's move on. So remember how I told you about Mission of Burma, how many bands they influenced? Yeah, I'm talking about Fugazi. I played the song Turnover in the beginning. Not a very good version of it. It was a version of it I found online that just sounded accurate, so like I just used that one. Lyrics, band. This is actually a blue LP. I don't know if this is my favorite Fugazi record because yeah, I definitely do have Red Medicine up there, but I think Red Medicine is like a 9. If I had to pick a Fugazi album that's a 10, it's probably this one. But I sometimes I prefer listening to Red Medicine. I'll be honest with you. That's the only time on the list you're gonna hear me say I prefer, a record over the one I give a 10 to, which is kind of funny. But yeah, no, this album is amazing. There's some great post-hardcore songs in here like Repeater and Blueprint, Steve Fisted Find, Styrofoam, which is one of my favorites. Blueprint's one of my favorites. Shut the Door, which is probably my favorite ballad-like song on here. And yeah, Fugazi, Repeater, 1990. Oh yeah, Illmatic came out in 1994. This is a special album in my opinion. It's unique, it's cool, it's awesome. It's a awesome beginning for the band. It really does. It's the post-hardcore album. It's the ultimate post-hardcore album in my opinion. You can't get much better than Fugazi when it comes to post-hardcore. Like yeah, you can get like a Drive Like Jehu, or like Mission of Burma, or maybe like some shit like that. But like you can't get much better than Fugazi. I think this is like one of the best post-hardcore albums of all time. You can't fuck with Fugazi, honestly. And yeah, this came from the ashes of Minor Threat, which I would have mentioned Minor Threat if it wasn't for this album because this album, I think this album is my Ian MacKaye album. But yeah, there's a bunch of great songs on here. I think if I had to pick a song I really didn't care for, it'd probably be Greed. But even then, it's still a catchy song. So this is an amazing album, 10 out of 10 record. Yeah. Let's move on. We're going through these pretty fast because yeah, well, this is a pretty obvious one. And the aeroplane over the sea. I mean, do I really gotta explain what there is that's good about this album? I think you guys should know because anybody who's in the music sphere knows about this album. I know this became a huge meme, like World War II, Hitler, and that type of shit. But like, no, really, it's a good album. It's an amazing record. I love the way this is like packaged and shit. This is cool. Some of my favorite songs in here, like Oh Calmly, Communist Daughter is underrated. Two-Headed Boy, Part 1 and Part 2. Of course, you have like The King of the Carrot Flowers, Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3, and In the Airplane Over the Sea. Holland, 1945, The Fool, Ghost, all amazing songs. Jeff Magnum and Company really went on. This is like one of the best indie folk albums of all time. Probably not my favorite though. My favorite indie folk album would probably be The Glow Part 2. But if I had to pick a really good one from the 90s, it'd be this one. I mean, yeah, there's some great indie folk and indie yeah, albums that came out in the 90s. I think this is the best one from the 90s. Yeah, this clears. Amazing record, amazing concept. Kind of a little too memeable at points, but like the internet's gonna be the internet, and honestly, I really don't give a fuck. This album is still enjoyable. I would recommend listening to it if you're like not sick of it because of the memes. Listen to this record. I honestly think it'd be good. It'd be interesting for you to listen to it. One of my favorite albums from the '90s. It's like in my top 5 albums of the '90s. Yeah, amazing, 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 amazing. 10 out of 10. I would recommend it. Would recommend it. It's a good concept. All right. Next we have I'm gonna have to cover this shit. Nirvana's Nevermind. Yeah, pretty basic, and again, there's some elements of In Euro I like a little better. Just like what I said about Red Medicine and Fugazi and Repeater. I think the same slightly goes for this one, just because of the Albine, Steve Albini production. I'm a big fan of Steve Albini. If you guys didn't know, there's some amazing songs on here, like Lunch Act, which is probably my favorite song on there. That's the one that goes Truth, Covenant, Security. That one's really amazing. Territorial Pissing, Smells Like Teen Spirit is an amazing opener. Oh, it's overplayed. Who cares? Come as you are, yes. Lithium, yes. On a Plane, yes. Something in the Way, yes. All amazing songs. It's an amazing album. Yeah, I don't want to show this one on the screen too long because of the baby penis, but I really couldn't get a version with the censored baby penis, which is very unfortunate. I don't want to see a baby penis in my collection, but I couldn't really do much about that. Yeah, 10 out of 10 record, Nirvana, Nevermind. Amazing fucking record, guys. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Alright. Now we're gonna go to the final one. We've been going through these motherfuckers fast. Oh yeah, by the way, Nevermind 1991. They were playing overseas 98. Enter the Wu-Tang. 36 Chambers. I mean, how could I not? How can I not? How can I not? How can I not? How can I not? 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. It's really just really like one of the best hip hop records out there. I really cannot say much. What the fuck is that? Like extra? Like I never noticed that. Is that like extra like record? Yeah, that's extra record. I think they pressed this one a little too much, like plastic right here. Yeah, but Wu-Tang, Enter the Wu-Tang, of course. Yeah, that's extra plastic right there. I'm not gonna try to tear it off, but yeah, that's kind of interesting. Some of my favorite songs in here, like Bring the Ruckus, Shame on a. I'm not gonna say the N word. Let's see. Wu-Tang Clan Ain't Nothing to Fuck With. Of course. Method Man. What else is there? Protect Your Neck. Kareem. There's amazing songs here. This is probably like one of my favorite hip hop records of all time, if not my favorite hip hop record of all time. Really a classic hip hop record. Easily in my top 5, top 3 '90s albums. Up there with some of the greatest hip hop records of all time. Like up there with like Takes a Nation of Millions, To Pimp a Butterfly. Up there with Mad Villainy. Up there with like Hell Half. Up there with fucking what's that one album? Black on Both Sides. Up there with like The Money Store. Up there with Paul's Boutique. Up there with some of the greatest hip hop records of all time. Up there with Stankonia. Up there with like all those records are fucking amazing. And this one is probably the king of hip hop in my opinion. If I had to pick, yeah, Ghostface is easily my favorite rapper of all time, and is good shit on this record. Good shit. Yeah, that's all I really got to say. These are my 10 out of 10s from the '90s. I know they aren't really like. I didn't really go too in depth with them because it's like 1 o'clock in the fucking morning and I got other videos to record. Not only that, I would say that there is this is probably the group of albums that don't have the most personal connection to me out of the most. That's probably why. But yeah, I plan on doing a series of like just albums that are just my favorites of all time. I do a top. I'm planning after this series to do a top 10 favorite albums of all time, and you'll see some albums that are not mentioned in this video. Or top, I'll probably do like a top 20 or top 50 actually. I don't think a top 10 is enough. But yeah, well, I'll see you guys when I do that. This is a '90s amazing, amazing decade for music, and really a decade for discovery at this point. I think this is one of the best decades for music, one of the most innovative, and yeah. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.